common, killing dozens of civilians in a Christian Jews neighborhood in Damascus. And we have Islamic terror groups are killing Christians all over the world, and President Obama wants us to ally with them? And why is the U.S. government funded Islamic terrorists who are killing Christians? And not only does our government fund terrorists who attack Christians, but also labels Christians as domestic extremists and terrorists right here in the United States. The Army even labels Christian evangelists, Catholics, and some Jews religious extremists. Even Fort Hood soldiers were told that Christians, Tea Partiers, pose a radical terror threat. And federal agencies have now targeted Christians as posing a domestic terror threat that can be more dangerous than Al-Qaeda, as stated by the Southern Poverty Law Center, who provides much of this propaganda to federal agencies, such as the FBI. FBI's Project Megiddo, where they openly state anyone who believes in biblical prophecy and anyone who preaches against the New World Order is a possible terrorist. Now, the grim reality of our own government classifying a Christian as a terrorist is frightening. But what is more frightening is what the government does to a person who is considered a terrorist, as stated in these bills and documents, such as Homeland Security's Project Endgame, the Patriot Act, the National Defense Authorization Act of 2012, and John McCain's S-3081, the Enemy Belligerent Act, where an American citizen who is classified as a terrorist is stripped from their individual rights, which includes no Miranda rights, no probable cause that you even committed an act of terror, no judge, no jury, no trial, and they can hold you for as long as they want and even torture you and put you into labor camps. Now, as you can see, the New World Order is now upon us. It is that time, as the Bible has spoken about, that the Christian would be persecuted for their faith. And it's coming, folks. They got the FEMA camp set up. They got all the legislation, the bills being followed through with Homeland Security to target the American Christian. And Christians all over the world, as we've seen, are being killed. So this is the time, folks. This is the time that the New World Order is trying to put their hammer down, try to put their foot down, and stomp us out. But we need to be stronger than ever and take a stand against the New World Order and take a stand for God and keep preaching liberty, keep preaching truth, and keep preaching God's word. Because, folks, the time is here, the time is now. And we need to stand together and fight the New World Order and say, no, we are not going to stop being Christians, and we will not give up our faith in God. And this is Dan Bedandi for Infowars.com.
It's early this Tuesday morning, the 11th of September, 2001.
Al, it is such a pretty morning, isn't it?
Perfect fall morning.
On September 11th, 2001, the world changed. The land of the free has now become the land of the enslaved. The people of our once glorious United States have traded their liberty for security. But has it all happened by design?
December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked.
Many questions linger about the events of that day of infamy. But one thing we know for certain, the surprise attack on Pearl Harbor set in motion a course of events that would eventually lead us to a one-world government.
Japan began this war in treachery. We shall end it in victory.
In the aftermath of World War II, the United Nations was created, and the path toward a one-world government accelerated. Each war brings us one step closer to what the Bible calls the end of the world. Checkpoints are being set up everywhere. The police state is tightening its grip on the people of the United States. And to those who understand biblical prophecy, What comes next will not be a surprise. At some time in the future, the King James Bible states that everyone on the planet will be required to take a mark in order to buy or sell. As our current economic system collapses and as technology expands, cash is becoming a thing of the past. The reality of a cashless society is not far off. In fact, it's already being implemented. Despite denials by many religious leaders, evil men are working around the clock to bring in a new world order. We can see the end rapidly approaching and the stage being set for the emergence of the Antichrist. We can hear the voices of those who are subverting our U.S. Constitution and promoting this global government system.
A new world order.
And with all this right around the corner, this film is more important than ever. Satan is working behind the scenes to set up a one-world government and a one-world religion in preparation for the Antichrist. He has also deceived modern evangelical Christians into believing that they will be removed from this earth before the Great Tribulation takes place. This doctrine, known as the pre-tribulation rapture, teaches that Christ may return at any moment and that there will be no signs of his coming. As a result of this deception, most Christians are completely unprepared for what the Bible has warned us is coming. Although the scriptures clearly state in Matthew 24 and elsewhere that the rapture will take place after the tribulation, big-name preachers, Bible colleges, and popular films such as Left Behind have taught the masses to expect that the rapture may occur at any moment. But Left Behind is a work of fiction. Christians today are not being warned about the events they will face in the Great Tribulation. To learn the truth about the rapture, we must look within the pages of the Bible itself.
Matthew 24. And Jesus went out and departed from the temple. And his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Jesus said unto them, See ye not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming, and of the end of the world? And Jesus answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you. For many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ, and shall deceive many. And ye shall hear of wars and rumors of wars. See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass. But the end is not yet. For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom. And there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. Then shall many be offended, and shall betray one another, and shall hate one another. And many false prophets shall rise, and shall deceive many. And because iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold. But he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations. And then shall the end come. When ye therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand. Then let him which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Then if any man shall say unto you, Lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, Behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chambers, believe it not. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. He shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender, and putteth forth leaves, ye know that summer is nigh. So likewise ye, when ye shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors. Verily I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. But as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. For as in the days that were before the flood they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, until the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came and took them all away.
I know that sounds like pretty grim times, and the world is going to be just this torturous, horrible place, but keep in mind that they're offended and scared of the very thought of loving your neighbor as yourself. That's what offends the world. Such kind words coming from the Prince of Peace, and that's offensive to the point where they have to kill us all off and get rid of us. That's how offensive that is, that they have to put the whole world into enslavement and put everyone who believes in Jesus Christ or believes in freedom in camps and try to put marks on us and all this stuff, because that word of God is so offensive and so scary to them. They're so scared of that they have to put us away. Just keep that in mind. And with that, I think I'm going to end the show. Thank you for listening. If you enjoy this show, please feel free to share it. You can find us on Spreaker, iTunes, and most podcatchers. And if you'd like to support the show, please leave a review on iTunes or Spreaker or wherever you find this show. And for more information on this show, go to the Fringianity Underground podcast Facebook group and like us. Images will be posted there for this show and others as well. Please check Spreaker or wherever you get this podcast every Sunday evening for new episodes. And thank you for listening.